so nice to be a part of the Webit Global Impact Forum, and I'm so grateful for the opportunity to speak on an increasingly urgent topic, early education for children affected by crisis. Reaching children in their early years has been our focus at Sesame Workshop for more than 50 years, ever since we first created Sesame Street, the first educational television program for preschoolers. Today, we reach children and families in over 150 countries, including many places where children have no other access to quality early learning. As a nonprofit educational organization, we use the power of media and our engaging Muppets to not only reach children with basic education, but also to model behaviors and open hearts and minds. Over the last decade, we've been working with humanitarian organizations, governments, and direct service providers to support children and caregivers who face the trauma of conflict and displacement. Today, we have reached millions of young children affected by crises in the Middle East, Bangladesh, Latin America, East Africa, Afghanistan, and now Ukraine through our Welcome Sesame initiative. We deliver playful learning and nurturing care, not just through television, but also through digital media, print materials, and on-the-ground direct services with partners. For Afghan and Ukrainian families, we recently launched new Welcome Sesame resources in Ukrainian, Dari, and Pashto, all designed to help children and families cope with the trauma of displacement, process what they are experiencing, and develop a sense of belonging in new places. In the Middle East, we're reaching children affected by the Syrian refugee crisis through Ahlan Simsim, an Arabic language version of Sesame Street, paired with direct services in homes and centers delivered by our partners at the International Rescue Committee. In Cox's Bazar, Bangladesh, we use print materials like storybooks and activity sheets to reach Rohingya families who have had to flee their homes. In Latin America, we use WhatsApp and a chatbot to deliver early learning to Venezuelan families on the move. We tailor our approach to each context, and our process is informed by research every step of the way. Our programs reach children in their early years when we know we can have the greatest impact. There is no time in a child's life more fragile and more important than their first 5 years, when their brain is developing faster than at any other time in their life. This is also a period when the brain is most sensitive to a child's environment, and repeated exposure to traumatic events can inhibit brain development, with long-term repercussions on their cognitive abilities, health, and productivity. That means that children have the most to lose because of the critical time in their development. Our programs also engage caregivers, because we know that the most important thing for a child who is experiencing trauma is more engagement with a caring adult. Our resources are designed to help caregivers navigate the unique challenges of parenting in a crisis, giving them tools and strategies to help them provide nurturing care, and equally important, to cope with the trauma they themselves have experienced. Right now, across the world, children are experiencing the kind of exposure to violence and stress that has the potential to derail their futures if they don't receive the right support. The urgency cannot be overstated. In fact, Ukraine and other conflicts have recently pushed the number of people forcibly displaced to over 100 million. 100 million. And nearly half are children. But there are solutions. We know that if we can reach children with proven early childhood interventions, we can help mitigate the negative effects of trauma and put them on a path to thrive. As Nobel Prize-winning economist James Heckman found, investing in early childhood development provides an estimated 13% return on investment through improved education, health, and economic outcomes for societies at large. Dollar for dollar, investments in early childhood are some of the most valuable bets we can make on our collective future. And yet, less than 3% of humanitarian assistance funding goes to this critical need. If we're not looking at conflict and crisis through the lens of a child and giving them the tools they need, how can they be expected to thrive, much less rebuild their societies? I have to say that in my travels to visit Sesame Workshop programs around the world, I've had the privilege of talking to so many parents and caregivers. And the one thing I find we always have in common is hope for our children. Whether it's a Rohingya father in Cox's Bazar, an Afghan mother who has fled her country, or a grandmother in Jordan raising her grandchildren in a refugee camp, what they say they most want is a brighter future for their children. And there is reason for hope in a world of challenges that can seem overwhelming. For many of them, the solution is right before us. An investment in early childhood is an investment in a better future for us all. Thank you.